I've been asked to pick the scariest movie ever, and the task is, frankly, scary. Look, I was weaned on horror. How can I omit so many films I still carry with me, like family photos? From the silent Nosferatu, to Frankenstein with Boris Karloff, to Hitchcock's Psycho, to the best of all giant monster shockers, Jaws, which makes you laugh at your own crazy terror.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
But there is one film that rises to the top, or sinks to the bottom, depending on your vantage. It's a movie made for nothing, that started small and seeped into the culture like blood into a rug. It's George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. There's a mistaken idea it's a zombie film. Back then, zombies meant undead slaves in Haiti, most of them harmless. Romero gave us ghouls that feed on human flesh and spread their contagion like a virus, a plague. It was 1968, the height of 20th century American social upheaval. The Vietnam War seen every day on your TV, race riots, the nuclear family fracturing. Night of the Living Dead didn't happen in a vacuum. Romero poured that unrest into the film, which opens with a flag fluttering in a lonely cemetery and ends with images that evoke a lynching.
You box yourself in the cellar and those things get in the house, you've had it.
The hero is black, unprecedented in horror then. Dwayne Jones has a manner that's not unlike Sidney Poitier. He's one of 7 trapped in a farmhouse, boarding up windows, while ghouls amass outside. Some scenes are clunky, the actors variable, from excellent to amateur, but the gore is still shocking. The blood runs shiny black in black and white. Romero's canted angles intensify the claustrophobia. The nightmarish absurdity. Brother attacks sister. Child butchers mother. In the years since Romero's masterpiece, flesh-eating ghouls, zombies if you will, have become commonplace. The ideas cannibalized in movies and TV, parodied, domesticated.
Bill Murray, you're a zombie?
But Night of the Living Dead will always be there. Like the old man in the cemetery, coming slowly but relentlessly to feed on our nerves.
Even on a bright Southern California day, this otherwise cheerful house feels sinister. Thanks to that hauntingly familiar theme echoing from somewhere inside. John Carpenter was just a few years out of USC Film School when he composed it to add melodic malevolence to his classic Halloween.
It's that sort of repetition, and the audience is kind of waiting for something to change.
It's putting you on your nerves. Like, what is going on? Let's get this thing changing. Come on now. Stop this repeating over and over and over.
It's driving me crazy.
Yeah, that's it.
He seems benign enough at 69, but remember, Carpenter also wrote and directed the film too, unleashing Michael Myers to the world.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
I wanted the audience not to know whether he was human or supernatural. And he had no character. He was blank. He was simply evil. He's like the wind. He's out there. He's going to get you.
And that's what's the most terrifying.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. It's what you don't know about, what you can't see. It's out there.
Released almost 40 years ago, Halloween not only launched Jamie Lee Curtis to stardom, it made Carpenter the king of things that go bump in the night.
I was just this kid with long hair trying to make a movie with a bunch of cute actresses, that's all.
But look what came out of it, though.
You know, it's great. I was lucky. It was fun. God, it was fun.
The critics weren't enthusiastic at first, but word of mouth soon spread, and it became one of the most profitable independent films of its time.
I remember this famous screening where I got to sit outside and listen to the audience scream at Halloween. It was like a symphony. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. They screamed in all the places I wanted them to scream. And I thought, oh man, that's something.
There have been so many Halloween sequels, it's hard to count.
My idea was that we should never make a sequel to the original Halloween.
You never wanted to?
No story left. There was nothing left to say. Boy, was I wrong, huh?
Carpenter is long past being asked what scares him. But he always seemed to tap into what scared us, whether it was death lurking in the fog, a possessed Plymouth in Christine, or evil awakened in Prince of Darkness. And he composed the themes for all.
I was going to say, I mean, most people directing a film is enough work, let
That's
alone
correct.
scoring one on top of it.
Show you how stupid I am.
In fact, there are so many, he's put them on a new movie-theme album called Anthology, and he's about to head out on tour. Despite it all, though, he has one more score yet to write. The one to what he insists will be the last Halloween sequel. He's executive producing, and he's bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back as well.
Can you give us a little sneak?
No, I'm not going to give you anything.
Little,
No,
just a little something?
It's pretending the other sequels didn't happen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's hard to take a classic and make it better. But if anyone can, it's John Carpenter, who, like his name implies, builds the scariest moments piece by piece. But lets our imagination drive the nail in the coffin.
This hillside home near Palm Springs doesn't look much like a haunted house. But Ron Chaney always looks forward to getting it ready for Halloween. He is, after all, a descendant of monsters. His great-grandfather was the Phantom of the Opera and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Silent film star Lon Chaney. And his grandfather was the Wolfman, Lon Chaney Jr. So on Halloween, Ron Chaney pulls all the family skeletons out of the closet.
You're going to run into some vampires, you're going to run into some phantoms and wolfmen, mummies, Frankensteins. Chaney's played them all, and they're all here for Halloween.
Somehow, the old monsters from the days of black and white still have a stranglehold on our imagination. No matter how many attempts have been made to kill them off, they just keep coming back. And these undead creatures have bestowed an immortality of sorts on the actors who played them so long ago.
I am Dracula.
Bela Lugosi as Dracula. Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster. Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman.
He was just Gramps to us. He wasn't the Wolfman or a movie star.
But Gramps was always the Wolfman when Halloween rolled around.
Well, the kids loved to come to his house. They'd have him howl for him like the Wolfman howled. He did it all night long, God bless him.
Having a monster in the family can add a lot to your Halloween memorabilia.
It's mainly here in the Bathing with Boris bathroom. And when we have parties, you'd be amazed at how many people we lose in the bathroom.
Sarah Karloff is the daughter of Boris Karloff and says her father saw it as his good fortune to become famous as a monster.
He's one of the owners of Halloween. He always referred to it as his busy season.
But that didn't mean their door was busy with trick-or-treaters.
At home, it was quieter at our house than at yours because people were afraid to ring the doorbell.
The brain of a dead man, waiting to live again in a body I made with my own hands.
Who wouldn't be afraid of the monster created by Dr. Frankenstein? When the film was made 75 years ago, it was widely seen as the scariest movie ever. So scary, it began with a warning.
So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Nobody anticipated the film to be the success that it was. My father wasn't even invited to the premiere.
You might say Frankenstein was a roaring success. So Universal Studios quickly followed with another monster.
Good night, Mr. Renfield.
Bela Lugosi, a Hungarian immigrant who could barely speak English, took the role of Dracula.
To die, to be really dead, that must be glorious.
He set the pattern for every vampire to follow, says director John Landis.
To this day, Dracula does what Bela Lugosi did, and they talk like Dracula. They talk like him. Kind of, you know, it's sad in many ways, kind of ruined his career. And in other ways, it's wonderful because who else has that kind of impact on the culture?
Together, Dracula and Frankenstein proved that movie audiences love to be frightened.
It's very much like, you know, you look at parents with their children, what do? They immediately go, whoops, and they throw them in the air. Look, I'm gone. I'm back. I'm gone. I mean, what's more terrifying to a child? I'm gone. You know, I mean, it's, people torment their kids. I mean, it's a strange but very human thing.
Landis knows how to frighten. He wrote and directed the 1981 hit, An American Werewolf in London. That movie caught Michael Jackson's attention, and he hired Landis to direct the video for Thriller. In his horror films, Landis got plenty of inspiration from the early monster movies. And he is one of the contributors to a new book celebrating Universal Studios' classic monsters, beginning with The Phantom of the Opera. The chilling face was Lon Chaney's own creation. He did his own makeup, says great-grandson Ron Chaney.
And he was a perfectionist, and it was very important that when he played that role, that it did come across that way, that it did scare people, to the fact that he wouldn't let him show his face until the movie screen. All of the lobby cards, no photographs of his face.
Thought it would scare people too much?
Well, he said, why would I allow people to photograph me? It's going to take all the surprise out of the film when they see it, and thank God they did, because it just horrified people.
What has kept these creatures alive, says John Landis, is that in them we still see ourselves and our fears.
I mean, Frankenstein could not be more contemporary. Mary Shelley wrote a book about a doctor, Victor Frankenstein, who is interested in creating life. He builds a cadaver from pieces of dead people, corpses, and reanimates them.
Now I know what it feels like to be God.
It has to do with there are some things man is not meant to know, like genetics or DNA. These are God's property, and you don't fool around with God. I mean, the Frankenstein monster could not be more contemporary.
And what the werewolf goes through is familiar in a way to most of us.
I mean, puberty, all these weird things are happening to our body. Hair is suddenly sprouting from our face and other places. I mean, all humans, you know, go through this metamorphosis.
As terrifying as they may be, these classic movie monsters are also strangely sympathetic.
Lon Chaney Jr.'s character, what's his name, Larry Talbot. Larry is just a guy who's bitten by a werewolf, and he gets this disease. It's like cancer. And it's not him.
Ron Chaney agrees his grandfather's Wolfman was a victim.
They wanted to hate him, but they couldn't, because it was something that was put upon them that they really couldn't help. And I truly believe that's what's made it last for so long, and why people still enjoy the films to this day.
Will you play with me?
Even Frankenstein's terrible creation had a softer side. One Sarah Karloff says was much more like her father, Boris.
My father was very well educated and very well read as an individual. And he understood that the plight of the monster, that he really was the victim and not the perpetrator. And he understood abandonment, and he understood the responsibility of Victor Frankenstein for his own creation.
But Dracula is evil. I mean, he is satanic.
But that has never taken a bite out of his popularity.
Did you know that Dracula is the #1 filmed character? More movies made around the world about Dracula than any other character.
So once again, it's the season when these monsters are busy making us all face our fears about life and death, love and rejection. And no matter how it turned out for them in the movies, Lon and Bela and Boris remain more loved than feared.
They were all wonderful actors, and you know, when you make something that lasts for so long, I think you've done your job and you've done it well.
He's far less sweet than your pumpkin spice latte, but almost as predictable. Yep, Michael Myers is back. For the 11th time, if you're counting.
Can you close the closet door?
But this latest resurrection in the Halloween franchise has a lot going for it. For starters, critics actually seem to like this one.
Michael Myers murdered 5 people.
Maybe that's because it's about something. Not the killer, but the trauma Jamie Lee Curtis's character has been through. Since we first saw her 40 years ago. But here's the thing about Jamie Lee Curtis and her lifelong connection to death.
You know, I don't like to be scared.
You really don't?
I really don't. There is no amount of money you could pay me to go to a scary movie.
But these days, audiences seem to be dying to pay to get a fix of fear. The newest Halloween had a monster opening, scaring up a staggering $77.5 million. Just the latest in a string of horror movies that are killing it at the box office.
Do you think there's a resurgence of horror films now?
You think?
This year alone, the Hollywood Fright Fest included A Quiet Place, The Meg, and The Nun.
Hello.
And last year, Stephen King's It earned more than $700 million. Worldwide. That's almost superhero kind of money, says Vulture.com's film critic, Jordan Crucchiola.
It was the most profitable year in the genre in at least a quarter of a century.
Yes, that's the house from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho behind us, where it turns out just an unlocked door is enough to give us the shivers.
Okay, nothing going on in there, but that creaking was
pretty good.
That was pretty good.
What Psycho did, and what other good horror movies since have done, she says, is change us physically, even for a moment.
It is the only genre where when you watch it, you are actually transported into what the character is feeling on screen to a literal degree. And the idea of being able to empathically tap into people that way is a really cool thing.
And there's certainly a market for it.
How you doing here?
Horror fans have their own ghoulish conventions where they seek out macabre merchandise. Some of them dressed in some pretty ominous outfits.
My first visit, father and son, so.
One of them, Father Evil here, even copyrighted his creepy character.
Now it's more popular than it ever was, even in the 50s when it's heyday. Now it's everywhere.
and so am I.
We've been employing people to help us be scared for centuries.
Because we want it. We want to be scared.
And we'd like to pay people to do it for us.
Margie Kerr is a sociologist who studies what happens to our brains when things go bump in the night, whether it's in a dark movie theater or a haunted house. Turns out that spine-tingling feeling that we get is actually sort of a high.
Our heart rate increases, we're breathing faster, we've got the adrenaline. We're not really thinking about our bills or the future or...
You're just in that moment.
You're in that moment.
That sense of self-confidence, if you go into a horror movie and you make it all the way to the end.
Yeah, we did find that people do feel like they learned about themselves and they challenged their fears. That is inherently rewarding.
So fear can be a good thing.
Fear can absolutely be a good thing.
That said, there have been more bad horror movies than good ones, at least in the eyes of the Academy. Only a handful have ever been nominated for Best Picture, which is what made last year's Get Out such a standout. The racially charged thriller was not only nominated for Best Picture, but for 3 other Oscars as well, taking home Best Original Screenplay.
Get out! Yo!
Best of all, it was made for just $4.5 million, but earned well over $250 million.
If there's too many white people, I get nervous.
One of my favorite things about horror is that you can really tuck a social message into a horror movie. We don't do it to all our movies, but they're more fun when we do.
Get Out was the product of Blumhouse Productions, headed by Jason Blum, also behind the current Halloween. He's pretty much Mr. Horror these days. So much so that as part of Universal Studios' Halloween Horror Nights attraction, there's a haunted maze dedicated just to his films.
Notice the blood looks still wet, which is very hard to do. I feel clearly very, very at home here. These are really my people.
Well, parts of people.
Yeah, parts of people.
Is there a cap that you're sort of looking for in terms of production costs?
Our cap is $5 million.
So if somebody pitches you a movie that's going to cost more than $5 million,
I'm not interested.
You're not interested?
Don't want to hear it. Don't want there's so much garbage that comes along with an expensive movie. And it's not fun.
Maybe you remember Paranormal Activity? Yep, that's his too.
How much was it made for?
Made for $15,000, grossed $200 million worldwide. It's still to this day the record holder for the most profitable movie as measured by the percentage of budget to worldwide gross.
The bad news for Jamie Lee Curtis is that horror movies are here to stay. The good news, though, is that despite her fear of fear, she says her storied place in the genre that makes her squirm has still been worth every single goosebump.
I've jokingly said it, when I die, which is going to happen, because we all are going to die, it will say Halloween actress dies, period. That is my fame, it is my fortune, and it is my epitaph. It's a little heavy now.
A little heavy.
That just got a little sad.
Affleck. What do the Affleck duck, the Terminator, Edward Scissorhands' hands, and the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic Park all have in common? They happen to be the work of Hollywood's biggest name in creature creation.
I actually was going to be a dentist and have probably done more teeth than most dentists in ways that most people haven't done teeth.
Indeed. Meet Stan Winston, who presides over about the strangest workshop you're likely to see.
Come on this way. Come on, come on. There's more stuff.
Ever visit a creature factory? Well, we're definitely not talking widgets here.
What are they made of?
Where molds are made of fiberglass and silicone, characters are made of fiberglass and foam rubber, their interiors are mechanical.
Remember the geeky kids who spent their childhoods making weird models or doing grotesque drawings of dragons and monsters? They're all here, grown up and doing it for a living. Although this is what Stan Winston has to say about them.
These are truly the Renaissance artists of the 20th and 21st century, without question. In the days of Michelangelo, the Renaissance artists worked for the churches. Today, the Renaissance artists work in the film business. But it's an homage to Michelangelo, that's what I was saying. It's all about the art.
Picture Michelangelo doing dinosaurs. In case you thought all those Jurassic Park dinos were computer generated, think again.
Well, first it's drawn, then everything is sculpted in miniature, and then this miniature of this Spinosaur, which ended up, we built full size, ended up, this character on set weighed 25,000 pounds. 12 and a half tons. And 1,000 horsepower. It did whatever it wanted to do.
The trick was to make each dinosaur look and move as if it were real. No small achievement given the shortage of dinosaur DNA. Watch how they worked on getting the feet right. So when you saw actors in Jurassic Park 3 interacting with dinosaurs, they weren't just faking it in front of a blank screen.
In the original Jurassic Park, there were 15 minutes of dinosaurs total in the entire movie. 9 of those minutes were live, 6 of those minutes were animated.
Don't move. Can't see us if we don't move.
From an acting standpoint, you don't have to ask that actor to act afraid. Because that actor is afraid. Because there is danger at hand. We would put caution tape around all of the dinosaurs so that anyone, when they were not in the scene, would stay away from it. But we've had dinosaurs go crazy, and that's a scary thing.
And as this Making of Jurassic Park documentary shows, they don't do well in rain.
And as he would get rained on, his skin would soak up water and his weight would change. And in the middle of the day, he would start having the shakes and we'd have to dry him down.
Stan Winston went to Hollywood to become an actor, but his day job was as a makeup artist. He became famous for taking on some of the toughest transformations in movies and television. In The Wiz, for example, creatures were the natural next step. He won his first of 4 Oscars for the 1986 film Aliens.
It was because of having built a 14-foot queen alien that Steven Spielberg could come to me and say, well, if you built a 14-foot queen alien, can you build a 20-foot dinosaur? And I say, yeah, we can build a 20-foot dinosaur. He said, well, how are you going to do that? I said, I don't know how we're going to do it. We'll figure it out. See how much reality you can get out of a simple puppet.
Gee, how did you do that is a question that keeps getting asked over and over on a tour of Stan Winston studios.
How does the Affleck duck work?
Multitudes of puppetry. It's puppetry.
So he moves around.
He does move around.
What's this? What's this?
Look at this.
Oh,
these are the actions that puppeteers use to actually then create a performance of this duck.
Whether the gee whiz effect is really no more than a man in a suit, like the Predator. Gloves in the case of Edward Scissorhands.
The breakthrough for me was that the blades work like this as scissors, not like this.
So the blades are fingers.
It's gloves. It's all they are.
Or the unbelievably sophisticated figures in AI, artificial intelligence. Winston wants every tool possible at his disposal. Often his figures combined live action with the latest in CG, computer-generated animation. He is always pushing the boundaries.
Here's, of course, the puppet of Arnold from Terminator 3,
this was
where we literally, we actually removed half his body, and then when it was Arnold, it was CG and makeup effects.
The evolution of the Terminator represents a revolution in Stan Winston's craft.
We pretended to build robots in Terminator 1, In Terminator 3, we built robots. They were on these big tank-like treads. They're called the T-1s.
Want to know the most complex movie robot Stan Winston Studios has ever built?
The Velociraptor in Jurassic Park had 48 points of motion. The Tyrannosaurus Rex had like 44 points of motion to give it all of its performance. And those huge dinosaurs, to allow them to act. Teddy had 50 points of motion.
Yes, little Teddy from Steven Spielberg's Artificial Intelligence. In the movie, sometimes computer-generated, but at other times, a robot and a puppet, all seamlessly interchangeable on screen.
You had rod puppets working
Had
as
rod
wives?
puppets. We had a walking puppet. We had one where the puppeteer would walk and Teddy would walk in front of him. Just wonderful rigs that actually created the performance out of this great character.
Teddy inspired a professor at MIT's Artificial Intelligence Lab, Cynthia Brazil, to talk Winston into a collaboration. The result? This little fellow named Leonardo, who has 66 different points of motion.
Right now, he is learning to have eye contact with you, take audio commands, push certain buttons. Very good. So many people say, why are you doing it? Why do this robot with MIT? Just costing me a lot of money. I'm not going to make any money. Why are you doing it? Because it's so cool. Because it's fun. Everything that I did when I was a kid, I'm doing today. Everything I did as a kid. Still a kid. 12 years old with white hair.
Except that now, instead of a bedroom full of creepy monster models, he's got a conference room full of them. Some of the weirdest, ugliest, scariest, most famous and best loved characters ever created.
There is a saying that at the end of the day, you know, the guy with the most toys wins. I win.
You've got the most toys.
I got the most toys.
I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome.
100 years ago, Count Dracula emerged from Gothic Transylvania to become the most published and filmed story in the world, except for the Bible.
I am Dracula.
It's the old eternal battle between good and evil. And then, of course, all mixed up with sexuality. You know, this cloaked, fanged man who climbs in through the bedroom windows of virgins and then gets into the bed and then...
While the myths of the blood-sucking vampire come from Eastern Europe, Dracula is the creation of Irish writer Bram Stoker. For an author who wanted to bring death to life, Ireland provided ample inspiration. Stoker was born in Dublin in 1847 during the Great Potato Famine, when 1 million people died of starvation and fever.
It would have been a period when people were acquainted for the first time with mass death, and with public death, and with mass burials, and with piles of corpses.
Irish academic and politician David Norris is a distant relative of Bram Stoker.
So there would have been this atmosphere of death, of gloom, of mourning, of fear, of some kind of a sinister infection. And I think that probably helped to give Stoker some of this sort of morbid imagining.
A sickly child, bedridden his first 7 years, Stoker may have been infected with such imaginings by living in a medical household. Members of his family were well-known Dublin physicians.
One of them was a famous surgeon in the College of Surgeons, and he perfected a technique called trepanning operation, which meant cutting a piece out of the skull and introducing instruments into the actual brain tissue. So if you imagine the gloomy old house he was brought up in, the medical notebooks perhaps lying around the place, and then his mother's stories of the famine, then I think you get an idea of where this kind of cocktail started to brew.
The potent ingredients included the Protestant church where he was baptized and the surrounding cemetery. There's a lot of fuel for the imagination in this cemetery, isn't there?
There is. It's a very, very atmospheric cemetery.
Stoker expert Dennis McIntyre says Bram liked to sit among the headstones here, where years ago families hired guards and covered graves with heavy lids to prevent body snatching.
They were after bodies to sell to surgeons for research, and they had to get the body fairly soon, 2 to 3 days after burial, or otherwise, decay and that would have set in.
A novelist, says McIntyre, writes best about the world he knows.
His mother told him a story dating from 1832 in Sligo, where she was born, where there was a particularly bad cholera epidemic. And she literally left written accounts of people being pushed alive into graves. I wonder, could he not have got the idea of some of these people getting back up again? The undead.
At another Dublin church, the young Bram might have seen what truly looked like the undead. Bram Stoker's maternal ancestors are buried in a crypt here in St. Michan's Church. In the underground vaults, some of the bodies are so old their coffins have rotted away. The air is so dry and cool, the remains are preserved under the dust of centuries.
It was a special treat, particularly around times like Halloween, to be taken to St. Michan's, down into the crypt. There was still the wonderful tracery work of spiders' webs, several hundred years of spiders' webs, and there were a complete curtain, and there were some medieval mummies there. There was a crusader, there was a nun, and as small children we were permitted to shake hands with the nun or with the crusader, and you shook hands with this leathery, skeletal little hand, and it did give a certain kind of frisson, I have to say. So this was a sort of treat that would have been available for middle-class children like Bram Stoker.
Hallowed ground like this, where the Stoker family has a marker, was forbidden in those days to people who committed suicide. They were buried near Stoker's childhood home, in unmarked graves, in a macabre and brutal ritual to keep their tormented spirits from wandering.
The traditional method of dealing with a suicide was not only to bury them in an unconsecrated ground, but also to drive a stake through the heart. And it's probably from that, and from the proximity of the suicide's graveyard, that Stoker may have got part of the idea of killing, of destroying a vampire by driving a stake through the heart.
Although Stoker never went to Transylvania, he set part of the novel in Whitby on the English coast, where he vacationed near the Yorkshire moors. It is in Whitby where Dracula came ashore and found his first victim in the shadow of this ruined abbey. It is in Whitby where Dracula aficionados gather to keep the vampire myth alive.
Excellent.
I think there is the kind of the operatic idea of old, mouldering churches and the presence of the sea and all this kind of stuff. I think it was really just atmospheric, and it touched something in his mind.
The various influences on him would suggest that this type of creature was gnawing at him from the inside for a long time, a lot longer than the 5 or 6 years he took to pen the book.
As Ireland was suffused with religion, so too is the novel. The basic battle between good and evil.
And the crucifix represents the power of good, a kind of magical, potent symbol, which, if exhibited to the evil person, will drive them back.
The obsession with the body and the blood, following the master, and the question of eternal life.
He has created a universal myth in the 20th century through Dracula, and that surely is an achievement. You know, he conjures an atmosphere through language, and I think, yes, I think it's entitled to be called a masterpiece.
My friends know there's nothing I'd rather talk about than horror movies, which is why so few of them return my phone calls. But it's October, when everyone finds their inner horror geek. And this year there's a flood of restored, re-released classics. It's like manna from hell. Consider the cheerfully perverse takeoff on the horror genre, The Old Dark House from 1932. It was James Whale's first film after Frankenstein, reuniting him with Boris Karloff. Now it's been restored, so you can savor Whale's spectacularly goofy mixture of German expressionism and English camp.
Even Welsh ought not to sound like that.
The movie is based on a J.B. Priestley novel, Benighted, and it's one of the best portraits ever of a certain strain of aristocratic inbreeding, with a cast of ghouls and eccentrics unlike any ever assembled.
My name is Fem, Horace Fem.
Here's what I realized seeing it again, side by side with another newly restored modern classic. Tobe Hooper's The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is the nightmarish 1970s American version of the same story. Unlucky young travelers, an inbred family presided over by a withered ghoul, a compound where insanity runs rampant. It's a great, sick family comedy. Now this deluxe 40th anniversary edition with 4 count 'em commentaries and a mad assortment of interviews and extras is a veritable feast. If you're coming to it fresh, you might be surprised by how little actual gore there is. It's mostly suggested, which in this case is so much creepier. Hooper died recently, and so, alas, did George Romero, whose boundary-bursting masterpiece, Night of the Living Dead, has also been newly restored and is even in theaters again. This cannibal plague movie was made in Pittsburgh for almost nothing, started small at drive-ins and grindhouses, and seeped into the culture like, as I've said before, blood into a rug. Romero piped in all the social and racial tensions of the late 60s.
The ghoul can be killed by a shot in the head.
Authority has collapsed. Rifle-toting militias roam the countryside. The nuclear family is imploding.
How are we going to know what's going on if we lock ourselves in this dungeon?
Brother comes incestuously after sister. A little girl feasts on her mommy's flesh. It's still shocking, and the blood shines like oil in lustrous black and white. Now, let's jump to some recent horror movies for your delectation. The best one of the best films of 2017, period, is Jordan Peele's smashing directorial debut, Get Out.
Get out. Sorry, man.
Get out! Yo!
It's the satirical horror movie we've been waiting for, a mashup of Guess Who's Coming to Dinner and The Stepford Wives that's more fun than either and more illuminating, too.
Okay.
A black man's brilliant, paranoid riff on white liberals as soul suckers.
So, is it true? Is it better?
Wow.
Wow.
It's terrific filmmaking. Peele's boo moments make you jump and then laugh at yourself for jumping, then steel yourself to jump again. Let me guardedly recommend another recent film that makes people extremely uncomfortable. The French female cannibal movie, Raw, directed by Julia Ducournau. It's set in a veterinary school where a young vegetarian discovers her inner flesh eater and begins to realize after she eats her older sister's finger. But her sister isn't that freaked out that it runs in the family.
Si c'était juste pour essayer, t'aurais pas pu choisir autre chose que mon doigt? Y avait rien d'autre qui t'intéressait sur le menu? J'espère qu'il était bon, moi. T'as un goût de curry.
What's best about this movie is the way that it exaggerates, catastrophizes, as great horror does, a young woman's sexual awakening in ways that are beautiful and disgusting and, well, all too human. Finally, a horror movie in theaters right now and quite popular, Happy Death Day. I'd be shocked to read a review of it that didn't say, it's Groundhog Day meets Scream. There, I've said it myself. Jessica Roth plays the sorority girl heroine, casually contemptuous of everyone, but humanized by being stabbed,
Somebody's gonna kill me tonight.
strangled, or blown up at the end of every day.
Is everything okay?
Shut up!
And then waking up with another chance to discover who her stalker is under that pig baby mask with its one little tooth. A big problem is, who doesn't want to kill her? The movie's no big deal, but it's fun. More of a rom-com than a slasher movie, with little in the way of splatter.
Am I in a dorm room?
Roth is a lively comedian, and the more days go by, the more the movie achieves a screwball frenzy. It's a female empowerment comedy for an age of sexual harassment.
Don't mess with the Kappa bitch.
The heroine has to seize the day and a humongous knife.
And you lived here how long, did you say?
About 5 years, I think. So I know it pretty well, and it's right down the road from where I live now.
Bridgeton, Maine was home for writer Stephen King in the 1970s, and it inspired the fictional town of Chester's Mill, which in his 2009 novel is trapped under the dome.
When you were here, did you sort of envision where the dome would come down?
Yeah, I knew exactly.
And King can show you.
It's probably been here a long time.
Yeah, it has been, ever since I can remember.
On the old map still posted on Main Street.
In the book, this would be Route 119. It goes up through here, and the dome would be here.
This summer, King's novel about a glassy dome descending on an unsuspecting town is being brought to life in a CBS series.
Why can't we hear the sirens? No, stop!
It sort of came to me that if I could put a dome over an American town, it would be a microcosm for what's going on in the world itself, where we have finite resources and we really have nowhere to go. I like the idea of the small town too, because people have got that Walton's vibe where everybody gets along, everybody knows everybody, and I thought, well, if you put people under pressure, what happens then?
This dome thing, how big is it?
No idea.
We're under a dome?
We're gonna run out of air?
We're trapped.
Is writing a compulsion for you, or do you need to have some story that just gets in your brain you can't get out?
It's a compulsion. For one thing, when I was younger, my head was like a traffic jam, full of ideas, and they were all jostling, and they all wanted to get out. And I wrote a lot more than I write now. I still write every day.
King was a public school teacher when he published his first book in 1974. He'd almost thrown away the manuscript, but his wife Tabitha saw something in Carrie, the story of a girl with kinetic powers. The paperback rights would sell for $400,000. A relentless parade of bestsellers has followed.
Where did your interest in the dark side come from?
I don't know. I could actually, I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. I started off as a fan of movies about giant bugs that swallowed New York and Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. What did you like about that?
I liked the idea that things would get out of control and somebody would battle to put control back in their lives.
What are you doing?
I'm going on the air.
In Under the Dome, the local radio station tries to bring order back to the confused town.
Yeah, this is the radio station.
We visited the set of the show with King in Wilmington, North Carolina.
You're executive producer of this series.
I am.
What does that mean?
Well, I think it means that I will be a nice guy and give them pretty much carte blanche when it comes to taking my situation and expanding it.
Well over 100 film and TV adaptations have been made from King's novels and short stories.
You haven't always been happy with what comes out.
I can think of a lot of movies that I just have to kind of bite my lip about. There have been about 7 sequels to Children of the Corn. All of them have been awful.
I'm so sorry.
I also directed a dog myself. I made a picture called Maximum Overdrive. But a lot of these movies have been pretty darn good. Carrie was pretty good. Frank Darabont did a terrific job with Shawshank Redemption.
Hope can drive a man insane. It's got no use on the inside. You better get used to that idea.
And also with The Green Mile.
Do you have anything to say before sentence is carried out?
I'm sorry for what I am.
You didn't mention The Shining.
No, I didn't mention The Shining.
You've never been a fan?
No, I never liked that movie. I always thought the Kubrick version of The Shining was like this big, beautiful Cadillac that had no engine.
What do you want to talk about?
In the film The Shining, Jack Nicholson plays Jack Torrance.
Wendy? Sarah! Darling?
A writer who becomes possessed by the ghosts of a haunted hotel and tries to kill his wife and son.
Here's Johnny!
I never liked Shelley Duvall in the Kubrick version. I thought she was just sort of a scream machine, and there was something very misogynistic about the way she was presented.
He disliked director Stanley Kubrick's film so much that King bought back the screen rights and made his own miniseries.
Who did this?
Don't you touch him. You so much as lay a finger on him again, I will wait till you're asleep and I will kill you.
Part of the deal was that I would not say any more nasty things about the Kubrick version. For a long time, I hewed that line, and then Mr. Kubrick died, so now I figure, what the hell? I've gone back to saying mean things about it.
King has just finished writing a sequel to The Shining. Dr. Sleep will be published in the fall. It will be his 51st novel.
All of your books are still in print, except one, correct?
Yeah.
And that's Rage.
That book is Rage, yeah.
And that's not in print, why?
Well, it's not in print because it was a novel about a kid who goes to school one day and shoots his algebra teacher and holds his class hostage.
In 1997, Rage, published under the pseudonym Richard Bachman, was found in the locker of a Paducah, Kentucky high school student who shot and killed 3 of his classmates.
That was enough for me. I don't think that books or movies are ever the cause of this sort of violence.
But the 65-year-old writer believes they can act as an accelerant.
I didn't want Rage to be one of those accelerants, so I pulled the book.
Even though you didn't think it caused it, you felt you didn't want the book to be there.
I felt that it was part of a fantasy scenario with these people, and I didn't want it to happen with anybody else. It was not gun control, it was book control in this case. And I think there are a lot of pro-gun people like Wayne LaPierre who could take a lesson from that and show a little more responsibility.
LaPierre is executive director of the National Rifle Association.
I have no patience with people of the LaPierre stripe who say the deaths of innocent children or the deaths of unarmed bystanders is just part of the price we pay for our Second Amendment freedoms.
He's sold more than 350 million books. His stories have made a deep imprint in our popular culture. But Stephen King once described himself as a man many see as a rich hack.
You used to always get slotted in the horror genre, and it was sort of a way of some people, I think, not treating you all that seriously as a writer.
I don't know if I want to be treated seriously per se, because in the end, posterity decides whether it's good work or whether it's bad work or whether it's lasting work.
You feel like yours is going to last?
I think that some of the books have a very good chance to last.
Did you ever look up on your bookshelf and go, I can't believe I've done all this?
I do believe I did it, but I don't really remember it. It's like I did it all in a series of really wonderful dreams.
So have you ever been this close to the Bates Motel?
No. This is actually
To filmmaker Jordan Peele, a stroll on the set of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho at Universal Studios is a little slice of horror heaven. Are you kind of geeking out a little bit?
I'm totally geeking out. I feel like I'm standing in the same place that really great directors stood, and it's just the coolest thing.
Jordan, right here again. Right now, the coolest thing in Hollywood might be 38-year-old Jordan Peele himself, the man who wrote and directed last year's suspense juggernaut, Get Out.
How do you feel now? I can't move. You're paralyzed. Now, sink into the floor. Wait. Sink.
It soared with critics and audiences alike, a ticket-selling monster that cost less than $5 million to make and earned more than $250 million at the box office. And here's something even more startling. It's the first movie Peele directed, ever. What's it like for you to see how Get Out has been received?
Unreal.
Do they know I'm black?
Should they?
You might wanna,
The film's a sharp look at race relations, a tense thriller with some much-needed comic relief.
He came to the party with a white woman like 30 years old now. Sex slave!
Daniel Kaluuya is Chris, a New York photographer who goes to visit his white girlfriend's family upstate. They all seem well-meaning at first, but Chris soon realizes they're anything but.
Where are those keys, Rose?
You know I can't give you the keys, right, babe?
The point is that, at the end of the film, everyone's cheering Chris on, no matter who you are. And so I felt like something about that would make for a better conversation about race after the film than before it.
And do you feel like that's happened?
Yeah, I've seen that happen. Where it's awkward to talk about race, it's less awkward to talk about the film Get Out.
Why us? Huh? Why black people?
People want to change. Some people want to be stronger, faster, cooler.
Black is in fashion.
I know you talked about how important it is that people are having conversations now. That's one of the cool things that you like to hear. This is also a time when there are lawmakers who aren't going to attend the State of the Union because they think our president's a racist. I mean, where are we?
First of all, the president is a racist, which is very sad. I'm disheartened by policies that are xenophobic and sexist, and there are many strides backwards every day. So what I am encouraged by is that the movie Get Out has been heard and received, and that I'm seeing many other examples of art and film and television that are expressing these pains, frustrations, love in new ways, and that they're being received and heard.
These conversations about race are something Jordan Peele's been pondering his whole life. His mother, Lucinda, who is white, raised him on her own, encouraging his creativity with homemade Halloween costumes and lots of movies. His dad, who was black, left the picture early on.
It's no accident. My art is exploring what the African American identity is and means. You know, not having my father around to guide me in what that means, I think left me with a lot to question and explore.
I am Keegan-Michael Key.
I am Jordan Peele.
And we are Key and Peele. Thank you.
His first chance to really explore that was Key and Peele, the sketch comedy show Peele created with Keegan-Michael Key. They found new ways to talk and joke about race in bits like this one, where Peele played President Obama and Key his anger translator.
On the domestic front, I just want to say to my critics, I hear your voices and I'm aware of your concerns.
So maybe if you can chill the hell out for like a second, then maybe I can focus on some you know?
Your Obama is one of your most memorable impressions.
Well, now, are you trying to get me to do it?
Yes, actually, thank you.
Is that what that is? Hey, because I don't need much prompting. I'm a ham. In my heart, I'm a ham. As long as it makes people laugh, I will shamelessly try to, and it also feels so cool to be Obama. So much cooler than Jordan Peele. That's, you know.
Key and Peele ended after 5 seasons, and while Peele won't say it's gone forever, he's got other priorities now. Are you not going in front of the camera anymore? Is that true?
Yeah, that's the idea. Daniel Day-Lewis and I are both out. How can
you say that?
Well, you know, so acting is just nowhere near as fun for me as directing.
Peele signed a deal with Universal to make his next movie, and he's partnered with CBS All Access to produce a new Twilight Zone series. And he's busy at home, too. He and his wife, actress Chelsea Peretti, welcomed a baby boy last summer. I know it's cliche, but do you say I'm going to be that dad that I never had?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's really what I want to be is the type of dad that my mom was, you know.
And action.
No doubt Mom's proud. Peele and Get Out were nominated for 2 Directors Guild Awards, and the Oscar buzz is building. But suspense is something Jordan Peele seems well equipped to handle.
Honestly, there's no award that will ever compare to the feeling that I've been able to give people a movie that they needed. I mean, it's just so unbelievable.
That's better than any award?
100%. 100%.
But the awards would be nice.
The awards would be nice. Because then I can be like, see? I told you. You know?
It might be known as winter elsewhere, but here in Hollywood, they call it awards season, and just about everyone's in town for tonight's grand finale. Are you looking forward to the Oscars?
Yes, I haven't been to the Oscars in years.
John Lithgow is in the Oscar-nominated film Conclave.
This report is entirely mendacious. It would never have seen the light of day if you had not broken into the Holy Father's apartment to remove it.
Lithgow says he really likes playing the bad guy. Everything you do seems like it's a lot of fun for you.
Well, I try to find things that are fun. I don't go looking for them, they come to me. By now, I'm on a short list of actors who is well known for being ready, willing, and able to do just about anything. So wild roles come my way. Nothing normal.
Also in town, esteemed actor Geoffrey Rush.
So I figure you just got off a long flight from Australia. We should have a cup of coffee. Yes?
Yes, that's a good idea.
Here,
my
you
body
go
clock
here.
is now 4 in the morning or something.
Oh,
like
goodness
that.
gracious.
Yeah.
Rush might live down under, but he's picked up a few awards up here.
So you have, what is it called, the Triple Crown, a Tony, an Oscar,
Oh, yeah.
and an Emmy.
A toe.
A toe.
Toe, Oscar, Emmy.
I like that.
We got both Rush and Lithgow in the same room.
Well, this is fun to have the two of you here together.
Yeah, it's fun for us too.
To talk about something they've done together.
What's going to happen is you'll get worse and worse till you can't speak or even lift a finger. But that's if you can still think straight enough to know what kind of hell you're in.
In The Rule of Jenny Penn, Geoffrey Rush is a wheelchair-bound stroke patient recovering in a nursing home, and John Lithgow is the merciless bully who terrorizes his fellow residents, often with a sinister doll puppet named Jenny Penn.
Who rules? Jenny Penn. That's right.
If it looks like a low-budget horror film, that's because it is.
A lot of times, this is how people get their start in the business. They do a low-budget horror movie. You two chose to do this.
This is where we ended up.
Geoffrey's just one of the great actors, and and you just read the script and thought, this is a hell of a double act.
I thought I was reading for the doll.
Knees up, Mother Brown. Come along, dearie, let it go. E-I-E-I-E-I-O. Ease up, don't let the breeze up. Ease up, Mother Brown.
Lithgow's character starts out as merely sinister and quickly graduates to terrifying. It's the classic horror film villain, and for Lithgow, a role with teeth.
Typical Johnny said, I've had some teeth made. And I thought, you're my kind of actor. Because really, you know, the first time I saw the face, I just went, this guy is creepy.
Look, we're in the impact business. You're either after making people laugh, cry, or scream out in terror. And this was scream out in terror time, with deep feeling sort of invested in it.
I was a tight end with the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 90, Robert Muldoon. Oh, I had a great pair of hands. Yes, you did.
John Lithgow's been evoking deep feelings for more than half a century. But before he was the acclaimed movie star, he was the acclaimed stage actor, the guy in David Story's play The Changing Room, who made winning a Tony Award look easy.
It's your Broadway debut.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks in,
That's
you
right.
win a Tony.
I think I must have the record for the quickest wind sprint from Broadway debut to a Tony Award.
Geoffrey Rush has a similar story. He also won a Tony for his Broadway debut, 2009's Exit the King. And the movie Shine, about a real-life pianist, David Helfgott, was only his second feature film.
And the Oscar goes to Geoffrey Rush in Shine.
And he still can't believe he took home the Oscar for Best Actor.
If you're in theater until, age 43, and it's your second feature film, is Shine, and you win the Oscar.
Yeah.
How did...
I don't know. It still doesn't make sense.
It doesn't?
No.
But it was hardly beginner's luck.
Listen to me! Listen to me!
Listen to you by what right?
By divine right, if you must. I'm your king.
No, you're not. You told me so yourself. You said you didn't want it. Why should I waste my time listening to
Because
you?
I have a right to be, and I have a voice!
Yes, you do.
Both Rush and Lithgow have had once-in-a-lifetime roles.
If I may, never let them see the real Elizabeth Windsor.
Again and again.
You made your father. What was his name?
Has there ever been a role that the guy sitting next to you had that you looked at and said either, wow, that was perfect, or, ooh, I wish I could have played that?
I don't know. I defer to an actor who does a much better job than I could possibly do in that role. I was the second choice for Hannibal Lecter. If Tony Hopkins had turned it down, it was coming to me. And there's no way I could have played that part as well as he did.
Wow, Bold statement.
Yeah, it's true.
That's good.
And I feel that way about Geoffrey in Shine. That was his role. It belonged to him, and there's no point being...
What John doesn't know is that I got offered most of the roles that he's got first. No, that's not true.
If our Lord wasn't testing us, why, he could take all these pornographic books and albums and turn them into one big fiery cinder like that.
Truth is, just about any role they play is iconic. And with director James Ashcroft's Jenny Penn, they get to do something extra special. Act their age.
You know, I said to James Ashcroft, how old is this judge in the film? He said, how old are you now? I said, I'm 73. He said, let's make him 73. And that's the first time I played my own age without all this stuff.
You know, Geoffrey and I have the great advantage of having grown to a certain age where we are each other's only competition. You get these great old man roles dealing with big issues like mortality and facing the loss of your own viability and loss of your own cognition. You know, it's been a blessing. I mean, my career has sort of aged along with me. And who would have believed I would still be going strong at this point?
Ta-da! Muscle system, heart. These drawings are Victor's anatomical charts.
He considered every tendon, every suture.
Let's tuck that in.
And admits, yes, for some, that can be a bit much.
Sorry about breakfast.
Yes, Sunday morning.
But to bring Victor Frankenstein's monster to life in cinema, filmmaker Guillermo del Toro first was playing creator himself.
We made, I think, the most extensive, minute, anatomical putting together of the monster in the history of cinema.
Victor Frankenstein.
Del Toro, who resurrected Frankenstein for Netflix as writer, producer, and director, took us around a London exhibition detailing his elaborate vision for the Gothic classic.
You wanted people to be able to kind of experience the film.
Yeah, and you can see the wardrobe elements, you can see the props.
Del Toro's extensive notes are there.
How long before you shoot a movie are you writing in your diary?
Sometimes for years.
As is the original text.
This is the one I would steal. I would do a full Pink Panther, inscribed from Mary Shelley to Lord Byron.
Pretty nice.
That's pretty nice.
The groundbreaking novel about a scientist who creates a living, feeling being, mixes horror, romance, and humanity. It was penned by Mary Shelley, who finished it when she was just 19, more than 200 years ago.
Why does this story endure?
Well, first of all, it was written by a teenager that was full of questions and rage and rebellion. You know, it's the same questions we have now. What are we? Why am I human? Why am I here?
It is finished. It's no coincidence this film comes out around Halloween?
No. You know, to me, Halloween is all year long.
What do you mean?
I live in a house that has secret passages. I live in a house that is inhabited full of monsters. I live in a house... Oh, no.
In your mind?
No, I built it.
Like there were monsters around your
house?
house?
When I was 40-something, I invested everything I had into creating the house I wanted when I was 7.
Well, no wonder you wanted to make Frankenstein.
Well, I have a room dedicated to Frankenstein. I call it the living room.
What do you do in the room?
I say hello to all the figures. In the morning, I write, I investigate, I design.
He started experiencing life through literature, he says, growing up in Guadalajara, Mexico.
This wasn't just any story, any book you read.
No.
You really wanted to make this film.
I gave it over 50 years of my life, so yes. It's in all my movies. All 13 movies have elements of the film.
Good morning, Papa!
Pinocchio is a prodigal father asking for forgiveness of his child.
I need you.
My first movie, Kronos, deals with eternal life.
We can share eternity. ¿Qué me importa la eternidad?
Shape of Water?
Shape of Water, certainly. The idea of the monster being of the same essence than the main female character, and the female character recognizing herself in it. We are all creatures. I mean, we have a world that tells you you shouldn't be a creature, but in reality, we're all weird in some way.
In what way are you weird?
I was this strange, pale creature that liked to read, and I was a hypochondriac at age 7. I thought I had trichinosis. I thought I had cirrhosis, and I studied medical manuals, and I would go to my mom and said, I think I have a terminal cancer. So I was a weird kid. Monsters tell you, look, it's okay to be you. It's okay to be imperfect.
You say someone needs to tell you it's okay to be you.
Yeah.
Who was that person for you?
Boris Karloff, Godzilla, the creature from the Black Lagoon. What is beautiful about monsters is they become patron saints of imperfection.
Boris Karloff's 1931 portrayal of Mary Shelley's monster is film history.
This galvanic trickery will simply not do. Trickery.
In Del Toro's reimagination,
Are you sure?
Oscar Isaac is Victor Frankenstein.
Every day there was some new, beautiful, strange thing waiting for me to try and do. You know, to be invited to do these kinds of things as a performer, it's like, you know, it's this once in a lifetime kind of thing.
Jacob Elordi is his very different creation.
What did you do to become the creature?
Well, I don't know if that will really fit onto a news bit.
Try it.
I couldn't tell you. It's this elusive thing. Guillermo and I shared a language together immediately. I was like fully creatively ready to play something like that.
Bring him to me!
Why did you pick Oscar? Why did you pick Jacob?
Eyes. I cast the eyes.
What do you see in their eyes?
Oscar had brilliance, madness, seduction, and pain. And Jacob was completely open. He had an innocence and an openness and a purity in his eyes that was completely disarming.
Did you want your creature to be beautiful in a way?
Oh, yeah. 100% it has to look like something newly minted. Not like a repair job in an ICU.
But there's also a handsomeness, a sexiness to Jacob as the creature.
Well, I was raised Catholic, and a lot of those crucifixions in Mexico had the loincloth a little too low.
Were you thinking about that?
No, but my grandma certainly was.
Del Toro's Frankenstein is rich with Catholic imagery and inspired by all the monsters he grew up with, fueling his lifelong cinematic mission.
Do you feel any connection to the Frankensteins of the past?
No, to the myth. I mean, my first crush was Mary Shelley. I truly can tell you this. You are born to sing 1 or 2 songs in your lifetime. This is my song.
So what do you do now?
Oh, I don't know. Macrame?
Is that one of the thoughts?
Pottery?
That's gonna be you?
That's gonna be me.